I'm Eli.
And we are Yahuwah and the Torah, and this is Youth for Yah. We thank you so much for joining us and being part of our channel, being part of our family. We welcome you to our table, and you guys can all take a seat with us. Thank you very much for joining us, and we are going to be going over Proverbs 26. The grand thank you for being here already if you're still here. Shalom. Shalom to everyone out there. Hope you are having a great day.
Yeah, we hope you guys are all doing well. We are in Proverbs 27.
26.
No, 26, my bad. 26 now, which is, it's almost over. Proverbs is almost over. It's almost time for a new book, but it's been a very fun time to grow with you guys, learn with you guys, and have the Torah and learn Proverbs with you guys. It's been an excellent time. So we thank you guys so much for joining us in this. We thank you so much for giving your input. If you have input in the comments, we always love your guys' input, hearing what you guys have to say. So if there's anything that you guys want to ask or you guys want to say, you want to give us input on, we really appreciate that because you are our family and we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and also, if we ever lose this channel and we want to live stream, we have a second channel, so if you guys subscribe to that so we can get it to enough subscribers so we can live stream there. We also have a Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, and I'm sure there's a lot of other places we have. But yeah, if you guys want to check out our channel, there should be in the description below. And if you guys want to talk with us personally and have chats with us, we have people from all around the world in the Telegram group. Just download the application for your mobile cell phone, and we can all chat and have talk about Torah and life and just how life is.
Alright, and I'm reading. Top left is the NIV, and the top right is the KJV, and Caden's reading out of the. Alright, Proverbs 26, verse 1. As snow in summer, and as rain in harvest, so honor is not seemly for a fool.
So we have something here that says snow in summer. Now, snow in summer is not something that belongs, right? And it doesn't belong in summer. It would be a very weird thing for it to be snowing in summer, unless you live in some sort of very cold lands, something very cold. It would not be normal if you had snow in your land. So what we have is we have a fool. And a fool is someone that does not know the Torah, that is against Torah. That is what a fool is, someone that cannot learn from the Torah, that cannot learn. So it says it is not fitting for a fool to have esteem. It doesn't belong. It doesn't make sense for snow to be in summer. It doesn't make sense for esteem to be with a fool. A fool is not going to be esteemed, and no one's going to be esteemed without the Torah.
Verse 2. As a bird by the wandering, as a swallow by flying, so the cursed causeless shall not come.
So there's a reason for curses. Yah will curse those for a reason. He will bring curses on the people for a reason. Like he did every time in Israel. He did not just plague them with no rain. He did not just kick them into exile for no reason. He kicked them out because they were sinning, because they were evil people, because they were people against the Torah. And Yahuwah does not curse without a reason. He will never send a curse without a reason.
Verse 3. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the fool's back.
So here we have something that all of them have in common, something that moves them forward and keeps them on a straight path, keeps them on the right path. When they go off straight, they use the whip to put them back on. And that is the same thing. Children, when you go astray, you may get spanked. You may get some kind of punishment. It is a type of rod for your back to teach you, to put you back on that straight and narrow path, to keep you there. That is what you should be doing. That is what you should be looking for. Your parents should be disciplining you. If they're not disciplining you, they do not love you. If they love you, they'll discipline you to keep you on the right path. If they don't, let you do what you want. And so if you guys want to be on a straight and narrow path like a horse or a donkey, then you will accept that and keep on going the straight and narrow path, because the horse, once he gets whipped, he'll stay on that straight and narrow path. And so that's something you need to do. When you get whipped, you go back on the straight and narrow path so you don't fall off. And even in life, Yahuwah might chastise us. You might have some kind of tribulation or trial, and Yahuwah's just trying to put you back on that normal path. So anyone out there who's going through stuff right now, if you fall off the path, you feel like you're being tested, then it's a great time to come back to the path.
Verse 4. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest you also be like unto him.
So if you have someone that is raging in their demonicness or in their anger or whatever it is, he says don't answer them. Don't respond to them in the way that they're responding to you. Because if you respond according to a fool, if you respond according to evil, then you are going to end up just as the fool, because you're going to end up speaking like the fool. You're going to end up bringing about his mischief. You're going to give him what he wants and arise out of your actions, anger from you, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to become a fool just like him.
Linkos, thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a great day.
Verse 5. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit.
So again, we have something that is very strange, because the first time he said, do not answer a fool, or you will become a fool. Now here he says, answer a fool, or he'll become wise in his own eyes. What you have to understand here is there were probably words in Hebrew that were very similar, just like answer here. Here, we're here to tell the fool that he's a fool, because if he ends up thinking he's wise in his own eyes, he will go on to commit sins. He will go on to commit much more evil than he already is in. He will already be a problem to his own self, to other people. If you do not correct the fool, you are supposed to correct those in sin. That's what the Torah says. Bring up the sin to those who are in it.
Right. He's basically saying in the first verse, don't play their game, don't be a fool and argue with them. Then the next verse he says, correct them, reprove them, help them on their straight and narrow path. He's saying to help them because don't play their game, don't be foolish with them, don't argue with them, don't fight with them, don't do what they want you to do, but correct them and answer them correctly. If he's saying something very foolish, you should respond saying that's not very good, you're going to get hurt, something of that degree.
Verse 6, he that sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off the feet and drinks damage.
So if you are sending a message by a fool, if you are letting a fool speak for you, if you're letting people without the Torah speak and send a message that you want to be said, he's not going to understand it. He's going to mess up the words and he is going to destroy people. His words are going to come out wrong because he's not in Torah. He does not understand the Torah. He does not understand what Yahuwah really wants, so he's going to mess up what he says.
And by drinking damage, the NIV says, or drinking poison.
That's pretty terrible. That's a bad thing. That's basically killing yourself.
Verse 7, the legs of the lame are not equal, so is a parable in the mouth of fools. The NIV says, like the useless legs of one who is lame is a proverb in the mouth of a fool.
So he basically says that those who are lame can't walk. In a parable, if you give a parable to a fool, he's not going to understand it. It's useless to him, right? He can't use it like the legs to someone who is lame. They can't walk. And same thing for them. They can't use the parable. There's nothing they can do with that parable. It's just something they shouldn't have, right? The fools should not have parable. They should not have wise teachings because they won't understand how to do it. They won't understand how to teach it. They will not be good with it.
Verse 8, he that binds a stone in a sling, so is he that gives honor to a fool.
So, back in the day, you must understand that a sling was the same thing as a gun, right? And a rock was the same thing as a bullet. It was used as the same way. You look at David and Goliath, we know that is a killing weapon. It is a weapon of war. And if you are telling a fool he is correct when he is right in his own, when he thinks he's right in his own eyes, if you tell a fool that he's a good person, that he's on the right path, you're loading a shotgun for him. You are giving him a shotgun that he does not know how to use. You are causing problems, and you could be the reason many people die spiritually because of this person.
Verse 9, as a thorn goes up into the hand of a drunkard, so is a parable in the mouth of fools.
A drunkard, when you're drunk and you don't have any conscience or anything, when you get a thorn in your hand, you don't understand. It does nothing. But when you have a fool that has a parable, he feels nothing either. It means nothing. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't have any feelings towards it. It's the same thing when you have a parable with a fool.
Verse 10, the great Elohim that formed all things both rewards the fool and rewards transgressors.
So that is really weird. So we're going to have you read that in NIV and KJV because that does not say it anywhere else in our Bibles.
In KJV it says the same, but in the NIV it says, like an archer who wounds at random is one who hires a fool or passerby.
So that makes sense, but it also both of them make sense for a reason. But it's just weird to have that the Sefer would have everything different, and it said that in the KJV as well. But all the rest of the Bibles don't have anything that says the great Elohim that formed things both rewards the fool and rewards the transgressors. And which he does. He rewards both of them at the end of the day. But we're going to go off the one where it says an archer who wounds anyone is he who hires a fool or any passerby. And so if you have an archer, right, you have someone that is skilled in archery, you have someone that knows how to do it, and he starts shooting people with his arrows for no reason, and he starts hurting people. It's the same thing if you hire a fool or anyone that goes by and you don't know them. If you bring someone into your life that you don't know, or if you have a fool work for you, you are hurting people just for no reason. You are skilled in something and you bring on arrows and you shoot them out without thinking.
Verse 11, as a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool returns to his folly.
So a fool will return to their folly. It's the Christians. They cannot get away from their bacon and pork. If you tell them for just a few minutes and then all of a sudden they go back to their church and they feel good, they're going to return back to their folly. They're going to return back to their pork. They're going to return back to their sin where they hate the Torah. It may be good for 2 minutes, but the moment they get back into that church, the moment they get back into where they want to be, it all goes downhill.
Verse 12, see a man wise in his own conceit. There is more hope of a fool than of him.
So if you are wise in your own eyes, you are upright, you are a great person in your own eyes, and you think you are everything, you think you are wonderful in all that you do, he says there's more hope for a fool than you. You cannot be wise in your eyes. You cannot be humble. You must You cannot be greater than Elohim in your own eyes. That is where you are wrong. At least a fool knows that he is not great. He is not the greatest thing. But if you are thinking you are amazing when you are not, and you are not amazing, you are just a basic human being that Yahuwah created, that we are trying to make it through the next life. That is our goal. And if you are wise in your own eyes, you are not looking for Elohim. You are looking for other things.
Verse 13. The slothful man says, "There's a lion in the way. A lion is in the streets."
So basically, someone who is slothful, who is a lazy person, well, they will make excuses not to get to work, and they'll say, "Oh, my leg hurts. I can't do this." And sometimes people's legs do hurt. It's not an attack on people that hurt legs, but if people who are making excuses to not get to work, like saying there's a lion in the streets, and you're being lazy just so you get to work, you don't want to do that, because if you don't work, you don't eat. You don't go to your work to make that money. You don't bring in the food for your family. You don't bring the food for yourself. And if you don't go to the field and cut down your harvest, you're going to have no food during the winter time. When it's winter, you're going to starve, and there's no food to be grown because it is winter. So you must work and get the food when the food is there. And now it's a great time to start growing food. Well, I mean, not for people that it's winter, but it's a great time to have food and start storing up food. If you can't grow it, then store it up, because you never know when you're not going to have food.
Verse 14. As the door turns upon its hinges, so is the slothful upon his bed.
Basically, it says the slothful doesn't move out of bed. The door hinge moves back and forth, and it does one thing only, and the door hinges are there to open and close the door. And same as the slothful man, he doesn't move, right? He just tosses and turns, open and closes. Nothing he can do because he's so slothful. You don't want to be that kind of person. You want to be the person that gets out of bed every single day and is ready for work, is excited to go to work, and show the light of Yahuwah. Be happy in what you do. You're supposed to be happy in your work. Most people aren't happy in their jobs. They hate what they're doing, but just they have to make that money. We should be happy. We should be rejoicing we have a job, that we have houses, that we can make money, that we can bring food in for our families, because a lot of people can't. And Yahuwah has blessed you, and you must be rejoicing for those blessings every single day.
Verse 15. The slothful hides his hands in his bosom. It grieves him to bring it again to his mouth.
So we have a thing here where Solomon is talking continually on a lazy person. How important it is not to be a lazy person. He says this person is so lazy that they won't even take their hand. They won't even take it to eat. That's how lazy they are. They're going to die of hunger if you don't take your hand and you don't go eat. You can't be that lazy, and he doesn't want you to be that lazy. Solomon is trying to get you to understand that laziness is going to get you killed.
Verse 16. A sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason. The NIV says, a sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 people who answer discreetly.
So even if you are speaking great things in the ears of a lazy person, trying to get them to be fruitful in their work, he says that he is stronger in his own eyes. His will to lay in bed is stronger than 7 people who can give great advice. He is so wise in his own eyes that it outpowers the rest of the people.
Verse 17. He that passes by and meddles with strife belonging not to him is like one that takes a dog by the ears.
So if you take a dog by the ears, you are going to get bit. If you just take a random dog and you grab it and you pull its ear, it's going to reach back and it's going to bite you. It is the same thing if you go and you start causing fights with people. If you start causing strife, you are going to get bit.
People are going to hurt you. If you try to go and attack people or try to provoke them, someone will turn out and hurt you. Some people can't let, so they're having a really bad day, and you go and provoke them, and they're going to hurt you. It's just something that'll happen. So you don't want to be provoking people. You want to be showing love to everyone. If you're provoking them, you can't show love. They will never look at you as that person that can teach them the Torah. They can be the people of Yasrael, but they look at you as some kind of Gentile, some kind of person outside of the covenant, some kind of person that is just like the world and is no different than them.
Verse 18. As a madman who casts firebrands, arrows, and death, so is the man that deceives his neighbor and says, "Am I not in sport?" The NIV says, like a maniac shooting flaming arrows of death is one who deceives their neighbor and says, "I was only joking."
So if you are attacking your neighbor or causing problems for your neighbor, and then at the end he gets mad at you and you say, "It was only a joke," you're throwing fire at him, right? You're going to catch fire. You're going to get burned up. You're playing with fire when you attack your enemy. When you are attacking your neighbor or you are doing something that is causing problems to him and you think it's just a joke, you're throwing fire at him and you're going to get burned. You should not be doing this, because that is not loving your neighbor.
All right. Emissary of Elohim, Shalom, thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
Verse 20. Where no wood is, there the fire goes out. So where there is no talebearer, the strife ceases.
It basically says, anyone who's ever tried a fire, grown a fire, then they will know that you need wood. If the wood goes out, there's no fire. And if there's nobody telling secrets, nobody stirring up strife, nobody causing conflict, there's going to be no conflict. There's going to be no problems. Everyone will be at peace. So basically what he's saying, to get rid of the conflict person, the conflict, get rid of the people that are causing conflict, because the strife will cease. Brother Glenn, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Verse 21. As coals are to burn coals, and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife.
So a man is of coals, right? And if he loves contention, he's gonna run into that fire continually. He's gonna burn up in contention. He's saying stay away from people that are causing problems. You don't want nothing to do with any of these people. You don't want to deal with these people. You don't want to fight these people. You want to stay away from people that are causing contention.
Verse 22. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down to the innermost parts of the belly.
So, if you have things that go to the innermost part of your belly, and your mind says into your heart, and your heart is dark, right? Human heart is dark; it is wicked beyond compare. But if you are evil, you are slender. It goes down into your heart. It shows what is from your heart, and your heart is dark.
Verse 23. Burning lips and a wicked heart are like a potsherd covered with silver dross.
That's your verse 23?
Yeah.
Earthen covered with silver dross are burning lips with an evil heart. If you have earthenware that is covered with dross, it is like the nasty stuff. It's fake, right? It's not a good thing. Burning lips with an evil heart is not a good thing. If you have a pot that is covered in silver, it is a fake silver. It is a fake thing. It's a fake person that has evil lips. He may show he is a great person. He may have burning lips for Yah. He may be having this great stuff, but it's fake. It's a fake thing to have this person that speaks evil and says they are of Yah.
Verse 24. He that hates dissembles with his lips, and lays up deceit within him. When he speaks fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart.
So going back to the last verse, he said, even though you speak kindly, you don't believe him, because there are 7 abominations in his heart, and we know the 7 abominations: lying, hatred, what is it?
Pride, gluttony,
contention, one who causes contention. We know that those are all from his heart. Those are the 7 abominations that Yah hates. And this person has, obviously. He says, do not get near this person. You need to stay away from this person, because he speaks kindly. He may speak good words on one moment, but you don't know what the rest of his life looks like. You really need to evaluate people before you get to know them.
Verse 26. Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole assembly.
So if your hatred is covered by deceit, if you are lying saying you don't hate someone, it says you're going to be shown. If you are hating someone in your heart, Yah is going to expose that. He is going to show that there is evil in your heart. He does not want evil in your heart. He wants love in your heart. He wants you to love your brother.
Verse 27. Whoso digs a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolls a stone, it will return upon him.
So it makes you wonder what kind of pit they're digging. It is a pit to trap people. It is a pit to ensnare people. That is the type of pit people have, is to ensnare and to entrap people. And that would make sense. That makes sense that if you have a pit, you're going to fall into it. If you cause a problem, Yah is going to return you to your problem. If you roll a rock on someone, if you're trying to roll a rock over on someone, the rock's going to roll back over on you. Is to justify things, and he will always justify everything he does.
Verse 28. A lying tongue hates those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth works ruin.
Yeah, but more things we can learn from this chapter this week is stay away from people that are speaking evil. Stay away from the people that cause contention, that say kind things but then are ruthless. And don't be lazy. You need to work hard. You need to get your work done. There's no need to be slack in what you do. Yahoo is looking for diligent people that are willing to serve him diligently in the kingdom.
Right, and you don't want to be a lazy person. You don't want to be that. You want to be the person that works hard, that doesn't, in the eyes of Yahuwah, you want to be diligent. You want to be lazy in this world. You want to show that you are a hard worker, and not just for the world, but for Yahuwah. Alright, I think that is it for this chapter. We thank you very much all for joining us. Remember, if you want to chat with us personally, we have a Telegram group for people all around the world, a whole bunch of different languages, and we can talk to you guys if you have problems in life, if you want to talk about the Torah. You can just talk and see how your day is, stuff like that. We're a big family, so don't be afraid to talk to us or ask questions. If you guys want prayers or have any comments or questions, leave them down below and we will get them, and we will put you on our list. If you guys do have a reason we need to pray for you, if you guys give us kind of like a reason to pray for you, why we're praying for you, that would definitely help us. But if you just want to tell us you need prayer, we will definitely give you prayer.
Alright, that is everything. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you all. Hope you guys have a great day.
The Grand Glenn, Emissary of Elohim, Linkos, thank you all for joining us. And anyone else who didn't comment, thank you all, and Yahuwah bless.
Alright,
Shalom.
Alright.